Hello and welcome to this series which I'm calling Financial Planning, the Basics. What we're endeavouring to do here is to create a series of videos which will give you a bit of an introduction into financial planning. Financial planning is an extremely complex area of skill, fraught with all sorts of dangers and legalities and so on. And dare I say, some questionable characters as well. And to find a good financial planner where integrity is not a question, where knowledge is not in doubt, and where someone is working with you and for your best interests, that's a bit of a challenge in today's environment, particularly given the changes that are going on in the regulatory environment. The purpose of the series is to give you pretty much a high-level look at this very complex subject. I'll take you through as simplistically as I can, without being patronizing, various aspects of financial planning and topics that you need to bear in mind and be aware of. And then we will create a further series of videos where we will start to focus on particular areas of financial planning and go into a bit more detail for those of you who are a bit more analytical and looking for a bit more detail. But in terms of understanding the basics, and where this series will consist of 5 or 6 videos which you should watch in sequence, we'll address such things as the importance of financial planning, the consequences of poor or no financial planning. We'll take a helicopter view of estate planning. It sounds complicated, and believe me, it is complicated. But we'll look at it from a high-level view, and then at a later stage we'll go into a bit more detail. We'll look at retirement planning, we'll look at investment planning. On their own, all very complex but extremely important facets of your financial well-being, and something which you need to apply your mind to. I'll be inviting guests to come in, people who are experts in their own particular fields. We'll have Sandy coming in, and she'll be chatting to me about some of the elements of estate planning and risk protection. And we'll have various other experts coming in and talking about investments and retirement planning and pension funds, and so you go. So this series is going to build up to be a very, very comprehensive educational resource, which I'm sure you'll come back to from time to time just to refresh your memory. If you look at estate planning and you take what I keep referring to as the high-level view, the estate plan sits on top of your will, and it's a document that often people forget about. They sign a will, they say, yes, I've got a will, tuck it away in a drawer somewhere. A lot of people don't even know where their will is, don't know who the executor is. These are important things that need to be reviewed as circumstances change. We would, as part of an estate planning exercise also, we'd look at setting up and creating a statement of assets and liabilities. You need to know what you've got, what you owe, what needs to be settled on death so that the family can continue living. If you're a business owner or you have a share in a business, we'd look at the implications of your shareholding. We'd look at shareholders' agreements. We'd look at the impact of you having signed, or perhaps having signed personal suretyship. We call it contingent liability. How that can impact and become a significant risk to your own personal estate. We'd also look at reviewing your life assurance, both from a personal point of view, policies that you may have with various institutions, or policies that you may have provided by your employer. That would be group life cover and so on. We'd also look at estate liquidity. I've touched briefly on it, but part of the purpose of doing an estate plan is to make sure that there's enough money to pay off the debts, and that there's enough money left for the family to live on and for your children to be educated, and in essence maintain the lifestyle to which they're accustomed. If you look at risk planning and protection, we start drilling down just a little, but we'd look at the risks of plans falling over because of untimely death or permanent disability, temporary disability. If you're an employed person, if you are self-employed, you could look at income protection. You look at dreaded disease, and we'll look at the various, descriptions of these, and we look at different products that can be used to temper the effect of these occurrences, which can really cause a plan to, as I say, fall over and not reach fruition. We'd look at retirement planning, and you can break that down into retirement gap, where you're still working and you're working towards your retirement. We would then look at your pension and provident fund. We'd look at your retirement annuities and preservation funds, endowments, unit trusts, other investments, other sources of income, whether it could be rental from a property or a garden flat, it could be an inheritance. Then, apart from retirement gap, you might find yourself in a situation where you're about to retire, and there's all sorts of considerations that one has to pay attention to there. How much do I need to live on? What kind of rate of inflation do I need to take into account so that my income escalates and I can maintain my lifestyle? What rate of return do I need on my investments to make the plan work? How long will my money last? What kind of capital needs will I have in order to replace motor cars, perhaps an overseas trip to visit children? These are the kind of things that you need to take into account. Very detailed and dare I say, quite a daunting exercise. But if you partner with the right kind of people, with the right kind of skill, equipped with the right kind of tools as well, it's actually a very interesting exercise. Unfortunately, a lot of people tend to, by design, actually ignore it. They prefer not to know. They know they're in trouble. They put their head in the sand, and then 5 years before retirement they wake up, but by then it's too late. We'll also look at investment planning, and investment planning, I guess, is a follow-on from retirement planning. The two go hand in glove. And you can break investments down into two basic categories. You've got discretionary investments and compulsory investments. And we'll take a detailed look at many of these different types of investments, but just, once again, the high-level view. Discretionary investments, you look at things like money market, endowments, unit trusts, share portfolios, property investment, whether it's listed property or residential property or commercial property. Then international investment, it's a massive topic all on its own. Then you look at compulsory investments, where you look at your pension and provident funds that are provided typically by your employer. We also look at preservation funds. These are funds that you may have used to preserve the withdrawal benefits when you left one employer and started with another, and you didn't take the money, as many people are tempted to do, and that's a good thing. You look at your retirement annuities, you're paying 100, 200, 300, a couple of $1,000 a month going into your retirement annuities, understanding the tax implications, understanding a lot of the detail around these things, what your options are at retirement, how you can benefit from these amounts of money that are actually generated and are then available to fund your retirement, whether it's compulsory annuities, life annuities, pensions, joint annuities, insured annuities. It's really a bit of a minefield. But these are the kind of things that we will be covering with experts in the various fields. It's just an introduction. I would urge you to follow the videos in sequence, and they will be numbered so that you can identify which one comes first, second, third, and fourth, and so on. We look forward to welcoming you and joining us on this educational journey, and we sincerely hope that you learn by using this invaluable resource. And it'll stand you in good stead in being able to make sound financial decisions and securing your financial future.